You need the mental strength of a plant. And I know what you might be thinking. Plants don't have brains, plants don't have emotions, plants and humans have nothing in common. To which I say that's a very understandable conclusion. But one thing that you're missing that they do have in common is life. Plants and humans are both life. And if you really think about the nature, the true nature of a plant, plants don't have time to think about where they are or what their circumstances are or what kind of environment they're in, even if it's not conducive to growth. Wherever there is even the slightest chance, the slightest possibility, no matter how small it may be, of life, they will do everything they can to make sure that they give themselves a chance to live. And they will gather the water and the nutrients from wherever they can get it, and they will make an attempt to grow at all times, always. And even though plants don't have emotions or they don't have a brain, you cannot let that take away from the fact that they never let anything distract them from their true purpose on this earth, which is to grow. Whatever conditions they may be presented with, whether it's terrible weather, snow, blistering heat, rain, whatever it is, they're always going to take what life gives them, take what Mother Nature gives them, and make a noble attempt to grow, to get taller, to get stronger. And what we can learn from these guys, nobody seems to even realize that if we can just take this one principle alone of not letting our circumstances or our environment or the weather or how we feel on a certain day determine what we do and how we go about our lives, then we have so much potential that we can actually step into. And obviously, having emotions, that calls for a very different experience. Emotions are a massive part of the human experience. And it's important that we don't suppress them and don't ignore them. We acknowledge them for what they are, which is they're signs. They're telling you something. If you're happy, it's telling you that you are in a great situation. If you're angry, it's telling you that you don't like something. But every single emotion has a purpose that you can use, that you can actually benefit from. And even negative emotions. Negative emotions to most people are things that they try to get rid of or ignore or avoid. But when you feel a negative emotion, whether it's anger or sadness or depression, it's you have to begin to see it as resistance to push against. Because if you're angry or sad or depressed, your body and your mind are telling you that there is something about your situation that has to change. You don't like the current environment you're in. It's not conducive to your life. And so that is actually the advantage that we have over plants. Because even though plants never have these emotions, they don't actually get distracted by emotions, because humans, honestly, they let their emotions take control over them. If you are out of control, if you let your emotions take you over, then you have no idea where you might go. But if you can see these emotions, you can feel them, you can acknowledge them and not try and shut them out or numb them, then they will tell you exactly what you have to do. This is why I believe Stoicism has such a interesting reputation, because people see Stoicism and they think, suppress your emotions. Don't show any emotion. You're just stone cold all the time. And if you want to present that image on the surface, that's okay. But the people that can actually use their emotions, channel their emotions, and understand that if whatever negative emotion they may feel, they can use it as resistance to push against and channel that energy into succeeding and growing and pursuing, success. That is the formula. Those are the people that win and get what they want in this life. The people that can take those emotions and use them as energy, because at the end of the day, that's what they are. Emotions are energy in motion, emotion. And I was thinking the other day about how you can literally rewrite history if you want. You can change the past at any given moment. And when I say this, people get confused. They don't really understand how this is possible. But if you just think about, if you're pursuing something and you fail over and over and over and over again, repeatedly, hundreds of times, and you could just never seem to catch a break. Every single time you try this one thing, you just keep failing, but you want it really bad. And you know that if you keep going, at some point you'll hit something. You view yourself, and everyone else around you probably views yourself as a failure. You're just somebody who is doing this thing over and over again, repeatedly. You're an idiot who keeps trying and failing. You're literally the definition of insane. But when you hit that one grand slam, what happens? How does that change the perception of all those past failures? It changes it completely. Those past failures turn from a complete waste of time and just a stubborn, idiotic pursuit to suddenly now we hit that one win, that one massive win, and now you are just that stubborn motherfucker that never gave up, refused to stop until they won or till you won. That is how fast you can change history. You can change your past. You can rewrite the story of your life at any given moment. And that goes for what's happened in the past, what's happening now, and what's going to happen in the future. Because when you hit that one win, it's like all of a sudden those useless failures are no longer useless failures. They are suddenly stepping stones, things that had to happen in order to get you to this glorious moment of victory, of success, right? And this can apply with anything. If it's people, if it's relationships, it's like you have 99 hundreds of failed relationships, and finally you meet that one person who helps you finally realize why every other relationship in the past had failed. It's because you were meant for that one person, and nothing else matters at that point. All of those failed relationships, they don't matter. You completely you rewrote it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't have wanted any of those to work out, because then you wouldn't have been able to meet this person. You wouldn't have wanted to win on attempt number 1, because attempt number 185, the one that you succeeded at, it wouldn't have felt nearly as good. But this is all something you realize in retrospect. Life really only makes sense when you're looking backwards. And that's the funny thing. You can only live life going forwards. It's literally impossible to live life going backwards, but you can only really make sense out of it when you look back. And that's why it's so important to realize that the best opportunities are always in front of you. The only way you can really rewrite the past, like I'm saying, is by understanding that there's nothing there for you back there. There's nothing that you can really do right now to change the past. The only thing that you can do right now to change the past is by looking forward and understanding that one day, if you play your cards right, if you continue living from your heart and you live authentically, that one day you're going to hit that big win, and then the past will be rewritten, and you have completely rewritten your story. But that's the only way to do it. And you should find great peace in that. You should find peace in the fact that no matter how many times you mess something up, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times you embarrass yourself, or you just mess up, that's okay. And you have to understand that the success, the wins that are waiting for you on the other side will not feel nearly as good if you didn't have those failures, if you didn't have those mess ups, because that's what it's all about. How good you feel when you hit the highs in life is directly proportional to how bad you felt when you were at the lowest points. How high you were able to climb is basically directly proportional to how low you are willing to fall. And that's kind of just why it's so important to have this plant-like mental toughness, because life is always full of up and downs. You really never know what's going to happen even a week from now, a day from now. And if you can just find a center, a solid foundation within yourself where you know who you are, you know what you're working towards, you know where exactly you're trying to go. You might not know where you're going, because if you knew where you were going, you'd probably already be there. But you have a direction, and you're not going to let anything take you off that direction. There's no possible way. There's nothing that anybody could say to you or anything that anybody could do that would take you off that direction, because you know in your heart, in your spirit, that that's where you're meant to go. You might not know what it looks like over there, but you don't have to. You'll find out one day. But you can never let the external world, especially people, plants don't let other plants tell them to stop growing. That's not how it works. If you think about it that way, it's so simple. But like, obviously we have a complex system going on up here and in here that plants don't have. But the idea is the same. No matter what happens on the outside, nothing Nothing can stop you from going where you know you need to go. And that's it. That's it. Nothing can stop you from growing. It's what you're here to do. If there's even a slight, tiny chance, even the smallest chance, you have to make an effort to grow. It's just what you're here to do. There's no other choice. At the end of the day, what else is there to do? What else is there to do on this earth besides pursue what you are meant to pursue? Because you know exactly what that is. Whenever someone says your dream or your goals, you know what they are. You can stop pretending that you don't. Because if you go your entire life wondering what might have happened if you did pursue them and you never actually do, you're going to get to the end of your life and just be like, why? You're going to have regrets. And that's the thing. You don't want to live with any. That's why I think it's so important to find exactly what it is you want. You don't even have to know why you want it. You don't even have to know how you're going to get it. All that matters is that you see it, you want it, and you're moving towards it, and nothing can stop you no matter how shitty you feel one day. Even if you feel extremely happy, nothing changes your true direction because you are so focused and so driven towards that one thing. And you have the mental toughness of a plant. Life comes and goes. Life happens. Things happen. The weather changes. Circumstances change. Environments change. But you don't change.